A warm welcome to this platform. In this video, let us go through the GCE 2025 Biology Paper 2. So we are going to focus on Section A. And of course, for Section A, you have 5 questions, and that is what you are going to answer. All right, let us look at the questions. So here is the first question. What are the instructions? Answer all questions in the spaces provided in this question paper. So we are to put the answers in the space provided. What is the question? Figure 1 shows the parasite cell observed under a light microscope. You know that this is a simple structure of a cell. Let us look at the questions. Identify the parts labeled A, B, and C in Figure 1. So the first part is easy. We just identify the parts. So what are the parts labeled? A, B, and C? So if you look at A, that is the cell wall. That is the cell wall. Then what about part B? Part B is the vacuum. Then of course we have part C, which is the chloroplast. Okay, so part C is the chloroplast. Then second question, that is B, explain the functions of the parts labeled A. Explain the functions of the part labeled A. In other words, what are the functions, or what is the function of the cell wall? So function of a cell wall is just protect the inner part of the cell from mechanical damage. In addition to that, it gives the shape, it gives the cell its shape, which is the regular shape. So you can add even that one as a function. Let us look at C question. Give 2 differences between cell in Figure 1 and the one found in the human trachea. Now, one thing you should know that cell in Figure 1 is a plant cell, and the one that is found in human trachea is an animal cell. So in other words, you're just giving the differences between a plant cell and an animal cell. But are you going to use plant cell or animal cell at all? You're going to say cell in Figure 1. Cell in Figure 1 has a vacuum, while or whereas cell in human trachea does not have vacuum. That is one difference. Then another one, you are going to talk of the chloroplast. So cell in Figure 1 has chloroplast, while cell in human trachea does not have chloroplast. You can talk of in terms of also which other part can you point at? Cell wall, have we used it? No, we've not used cell wall. So you can talk of also cell in Figure 1 has cell wall, while the one in human trachea does not have a cell wall. So these are the differences that you needed to write on this particular one. But of course, if you have another way of answering it, yeah, you can still suggest. Let us look at question D. State the names of any other 2 organelles that would be seen if the cell in Figure 1 was observed under an electron microscope. So in other words, here we are looking at the parts that you find or that you see in a cell that if you observe it under electron microscope, that is a detailed part of it. So in other words, here you're going to have parts such as the ribosomes. Then you can talk of mitochondria. You can talk of the Golgi apparatus. You can talk of the endoplasmic reticulum. All those, N of the 2. All right, so this answers the first question fully. Let us look at the second question now. Figure 2 shows the stages involved when testing for the presence of food nutrient W in crushed onion. Figure 2 shows stages involved when testing for the presence of a food nutrient W in crushed onion. Look at the steps that are involved. Now, the first question is identify the reagent X. Now, how do you know the reagent X? Try to look at what is happening. So for me, I would look at the result at the end. There's red precipitate there. And of course, there's the heating. The test where it involves or where you involve heating is the test for reducing sugars. And what is the reagent that is used? That is Benedict's what? Solution. So in other words, reagent X is Benedict. That is Benedict's solution. That is the reagent that is used. I guess you get the way it is flowing here. All right. Now, the next question is, explain why the onion was crushed and shaken in warm water. So this question has two parts that you need to answer. Explain why it was crushed and why it was put in warm water. Now, how do you write or how do you present the answer to this question? How do you present the answer? So, why was it crushed? So, this is what you present. All right. So, the onion was crushed to disrupt the cell structure. So, we can say the onion was crushed to disrupt the cell structure, releasing sugar. Okay, that is the first part. Now, why was it shaken in warm water? It was shaken in warm water to extract the sugars from onion, making them available for testing. Making them available for testing. Okay, so the onion was crushed to disrupt the cell structure, releasing sugar. It was shaken in the warm water to extract the sugar from onion, making them available for testing. Then C1, from the results, which nutrient in the onion was being tested? So the nutrient we are talking of reducing sugars, and this is the glucose. Name the class to which the nutrient identified belongs. So it belongs to carbohydrates, and the level of carbohydrates is the monosaccharides. Okay, monosaccharide. Simple sugars. Then question 3 of C, name one other class of nutrient found in onion other than the one identified in C. What else is found aside from the one identified in C? So you can talk of fiber, you can talk of, so here we can talk of fiber or roughage, let me say. Then also vitamins. Okay. Is there anything else? So please be able also here to contribute. Question D, explain the importance of food nutrient W in human body. So explain the importance of sugar in human body. 1. source of energy for growth. Energy is not only used for growth, but all other processes. So one, source of energy, then for growth, breathing, and all those processes that requires what? That requires energy. Then also it is necessary for proper cellular functioning. Okay? Necessary for proper cellular functioning. What do you think are other importance of nutrient W? So please also here be able to give your thought. All right, let us go to question 3. So question 3, as you can see, very much important. Look at question 3. Figure 3 represent 3 different models of gaseous exchange in different animals. Figure 3 represent different models of gaseous exchange in different animals. All right. So now, how do you answer this question? So the first question, which model represent gaseous exchange in humans? So the one that represent gaseous exchange in humans is the model 1. So you're going to write model 1. Then insect is model 3. So you're going to write model 3. Then B, give reasons for your answer by referring to only the models in figure 3. Give reasons for your answer in A by referring only to the models in figure 3. Okay? So you are referring only to this. You are not going to explain what you know, but you are going to refer to this. So what is the reason why model 1 is for humans? So because of capillaries. Okay, because of the capillary. You know that the gaseous exchange surface in humans are ovuli, and you find that they are close contact with, they are in close contact with blood capillaries. So because of the capillary, we are saying it is that of human. Okay, so it's that of human being. So because of the blood capillary and direction of movement of gases, and the direction of movement of gases. Okay, then what about for insects? So the insect, the trachea system, it is direct in contact with the tissue cells. So because of tissue cells, that is the reason why we are saying this is of the insect. Let us look at that is C. Which model, C1, which model in figure 3 uses water as a medium of transport for oxygen to respiratory surface? So it is model 2. Model 2. Look at this, model 2. So please use the system that is used. Don't write model 2 as 2. Use what you're given. So model 2. Name one living organism which uses this model. So fish, bone fish, bone fish. Okay, if that is a spelling, counter check. Suggest a structure that aids movement of air in and out of the model 1. So for model 1, that is in humans, what other structure aids? You can talk of rib cage. You can talk of diaphragm. Okay, diaphragm. All right. Okay, we go to, okay, there's one more. What about in model 3, which is for insect? So here we can talk of the trachea. What aids the movement of air in this case? So if we were to talk of also the abdomen of the insect, for it helps in breathing system. It also helps in breathing. So here would go for the trachea. What do you think could be the answer? Is it the abdomen or the trachea? So put up the debate. Let's go to question 4. Figure 4 is the bar chart showing the volume of urine collected from the person before and after drinking 1,500 cubic centimeter, which is 1.5 decimeter cubic of water. The person's urine was collected immediately before the water was drunk and indicated at time 0 and then at 30 minutes interval for 4 hours. Look at the diagram. So we have the volume of urine this side, we have the time in minutes. Explain why there was high volume of urine after 60 minutes. Explain why there was the high volume of urine. What was the reason? So, because of fluid in the blood, stream, the kidney absorbed less water back, or reabsorbed less water back into the blood stream, resulted in more water being excreted as urine. So the question is, explain why there was high volume of urine after 60 minutes. There was high volume of urine after 60 minutes because of fluid in the bloodstream. The kidney absorbed less water back into the bloodstream, resulted in more water being excreted as urine. How would you answer this question? All right, part 2 or question 2 of A, state the point at which the volume of urine stabilized. Now, if we look at this, the volume of urine from the time start was this. So if we look at this, it stabilized at 210 when it became the same before taking water. So at 210 minutes. So 210 minutes. Name the organ from which the urine was being excreted. So this was excreted from the kidney. What process is being demonstrated? So in this case, there's maintenance of fluid level or urine or the urine level in the body. So in this case, would go for osmoregulation. Okay, osmoregulation. What do you think is the answer on this particular part? And of course, explain the reason. C. Explain 2 other processes by which water drunk would be lost from the body. Explain 2 other processes by which the water drunk would be lost from the body. So one of them is sweating, by sweating. Then we have what we call skin evaporation. So by skin evaporation. But you can add also breathing also make us to lose what could be other ways in which the water drank would be lost from the body, waiting to learn from you. Let us look at question C, that is 2 of C. Which condition would increase the loss of water from the body? So the conditions that would increase the loss of water would be 1. High temperature. High temperature. High temperature leads to a lot of sweating or increased sweating. Then, of course, low humidity. So low humidity. Of course, this is just a dryness of the environment and increases the loss of water by the skin evaporation. So what are other ways that you think also here get to suggest? Finally, let us look at question 5. A man who had a normal vision married a woman also with normal vision. They had a colorblind son. Color blindness is X-linked using allele X capital letter B and X small letter b. Predict the genotype of the man and his wife. Now, the genotype is just a genetic makeup. So what is the genetic makeup of the man? So predict the genotype. So the genotype of the man, every time you hear of the man, now for the sex chromosome, the woman has XX, then the man has XY. So if the man is normal, it means the Z capital letter B. Always these sex-linked are recessive, okay? Or let me just say color blindness as sex-linked is recessive. So the small letter B is the chromosome affected. So a man is never a carrier. It's either sick or normal. So for normal, we put capital letter B. Now, if there was a son who is colorblind, which means one of the parent was a carrier. So for a woman can be a carrier but known as normal because it is supplaced. So the genotype of a man was XBY, then for the woman was XB, then X small letter b. So these are the genotypes. Draw the genetic diagram to show how this is possible. So, parental phenotype. Parental phenotype. So we have a normal man, okay, normal. Then we have also normal woman. So this is the man, this is the woman. All right, then parental genotype. So parental genotype, for this one, it was XBY. Then this one was XB, XB. Then now we come to gametes. So for gametes, we just put this in circles. Then XC, make sure that they are spaced. Then here XB, XB. Then now let us do the crossing. So this with that, it's going to be XB, XB. Then this with that, it's going to be XB, XB. Then this with this is going to be XBY. Then this with this is going to be XB, XBY. So if you look at F1 offspring, this is called F1 offspring genotype. So this is fertilization here taking place. Then here we are going to have F1 offspring phenotype. So this is the normal. Yeah, this is daughter. This is the normal daughter, yet carrier. This is the normal son. Then we have the last one, color blind son. This is how possible it was going to be. So this is the genetic diagram, and for this you get 5 marks. What is mutation? Define mutation. Okay, so how do you define mutation? So mutation just refers to the change in the DNA sequence of an organism which can either occur in genes or chromosome. So I'm going to say is the change in the DNA sequence, change in the DNA sequence of an organism which can occur in genes or chromosome. Or another way you can define it is as a sudden spontaneous change in the structure of a gene or number of chromosome. So that is what we call mutation. Now, what are the causes of mutation? So one of the causes of mutation can be replication mistake. So this one is replication mistake. Under this one, there can be error in or error can occur during DNA replication leads to mutation. Then also you can talk of some radiations cause mutation. So ionization radiation such as X-ray, UV radiation can cause mutation, can damage the DNA and cause mutation. Then also you can talk of chemicals. Chemicals also, exposure to certain chemicals such as mutagens can also lead to mutation. All right, so these are the causes of mutation. All right, so finally we are done now. So please, if you enjoyed this presentation, do not forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel for more content. And also, if you're watching this from TikTok, do not forget to give it a like. And if you're watching this from Facebook, do not forget to follow my page. All right, otherwise we can end here, and let me just show you the next part that we are going to do. We are going to do the essay questions, and these are the questions that came. You can answer them in advance as you await for that particular part. If you are interested to join us for online lessons or physical lessons, you can call the number 0976 402563. We are found in Kawata, near Kawata Primary School for physical lessons.